I feel personally that what people need, if they're capable, is a person who's honest, who's going to tell you the truth. The truth at whatever level you're interested at or able to receive. This is what I hope my videos are doing. So if what I'm saying, if you're meant for this, you'll hear me, you'll feel it, it'll make sense, you'll know instantly. That's the first thing, that's what I needed. That's what everybody needs. When you're like, your brain is dull, no disrespect, but you're dull, and you're confused, and you live in ignorance, you're suffering because of ignorance, and the first thing you need is light. And light is knowledge. And before you can access that light for yourself, within yourself, you need somebody with a fucking blowtorch and say, what's up, man, you're dumb. So if you remove the insult, it's not you're dumb, it's like you're confused. And somebody needs to voice the truth you know. So that's what was done to me. I've said it before. When I met my teacher, it's not he taught me. No. He helped me remember that I know this. It was just dull. And it was so alive in him that in his presence, these parts of myself which were dulled and numb and confused, it's like shattered the confusion, and that these parts of myself came forth to the surface and says, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know this. I've always known this, but I was just fucking dull. That's what I needed. That's before I begin the journey of myself activating that energy or that light within myself, if we're going to say light. That's the first thing I need. I need somebody to like break through the crystallization of my stupidity, of my ignorance. And that's what these kinds of conversations are for. I'm just like, listen to what I'm saying. It's like music. You know what I mean? It's music. It's a vibration. You can like what I say, you can not like what I say, you can think it's illogical, you can think that it's irrational or extremely irrational or make perfect sense or paint a perfect picture. None of what I'm saying really matters. What matters is the vibration and where it's coming from. And those people who know how to listen or know how to hear, I'm not sure which one or both, you can feel me, let's put it like that. You don't care about what I'm saying. You're not the fucking geek who's going to say, well, that's not technically true. That's not exactly. These are fucking geeks. Get the fuck out of here. We're talking about those who are receiving something else. And that's from me, emanating, touching that part in you. It's the truth. We're talking truth. If this is the level of truth that resonates with you, we'll understand each other. That's what you need, first and foremost. And somebody to talk to you and challenge your nonsense and speak it like it is. And push your ideas and push your thoughts and speak about things that you're like, damn, I never thought about that. I never imagined that. Is that really possible? Is this guy crazy or this is fucking awesome? Wow, imagine if that's true. Because it somehow resonates with you. This is the first thing you need to hear. Somebody who's able to say the truth from multiple views, but it's all coherent as one. But it's like, I can speak from that angle. I can tell you a bitch is a hoe, right? And I'm not shy about that. They're gonna tell you, wait, but she's a hoe. But let's stop 2 seconds and look at her situation and where she's coming from. But I can talk to you from multiple places, and it all comes in one coherent whole. We can speak the truth from multiple angles, so you get to hear what you got to hear. And then I can paint you a picture that you can see to a certain degree. And then whatever I say is way beyond what you know or can imagine. And it's certainly not in Marvel movies, or is it? Which inspires you and gives you a sense of possibilities. Now, if that makes sense, then what's the next step? You're like, well, I want to know for myself. I want to access that knowledge which is inside of you somewhere for myself and cultivate it and allow it to grow so that I can be a vehicle of it and I can serve it. Well, if that's the case, you need a teacher. But the first step, before we talk about a teacher, is that. In fact, even as a teacher, even me as a teacher, I still do that with the students I have. So, because for me, you're a student today, you're being a student today doesn't mean you're a student tomorrow. So at every step, somebody has to inspire you again. Not every step, every spiral. You go through a phase, you adapt, you integrate, you get it, and you arrive at a certain plateau, then it's time for either to quit or think you figured it all out, or once again, somebody to inspire you, speak certain deeper truth or more precise truth that you're living, that you that are kind of like half asleep inside of you, call certain things out and show you a greater perspective, and then you can choose to go on or quit or run. Run. Do you see what I mean? So that's why I'm taking the time to have a conversation with you or whoever is listening. That's why we here as a team are sitting and taking the time to extract that knowledge. We hope that it's inspiring. It comes through in a positive light. It's entertaining. It definitely is to a certain degree. It's not too much, but it definitely is. It's refreshing because it's not the same old fucking bullshit you hear all the time. It's pushing things further, and it's deep, but not heavy and depressive and suicidal. So if that resonates with you, good. You found a place. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to leave a comment, or maybe two. You don't have to slide that in once in a while. It's fun. So if that resonates, good. Enjoy it and see where this takes you. And if you want to know more, go visit the website, see what the website has to say, and maybe this is you found your place. Maybe you haven't, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, maybe you have. I'm not a salesperson. That's why I always I don't believe in sales in education. So there's a fine line. But some people they're a little immature even in their studentship. If you like something, follow it. This is my submission to you. If what I'm saying resonates, go see what's behind the scene. The same for anybody else. If you like a teacher and it resonates and what he's saying inspires you, you should have enough courage to see what it is that they offer and if they can offer you something to improve your life and advance. And if you're shy about this, well, stop being shy and put your cowardry aside and have a little bit of courage. And yeah, it's going to cost you money because this is how the world works. Everything costs money. If you're a cheap-ass moron, well, you're doomed to stay exactly where you are. Respect those who know something more than you and see where that takes you. Don't be scared. We've all gone on so-called wrong paths. I have. Was it wrong? Well, I learned something, but it's not the right avenue. Now I know not to go by that way. But there's a greater intelligence guiding us. There's a greater intelligence guiding you. And if you're listening to this, clearly, because let's be honest, this is an unusual kind of discourse. So if you're listening to this, you're also an unusual kind of person. This is not a negative thing. You may feel or you may have thought or you've been made to feel that you're unusual and it's bad. It's not. You're a special cat. Learn to make peace with that. We can assist you in that process. But first and foremost, establish yourself in this and receive this and feel it out for yourself. And if you want to know more, there is more. But you have to have the courage to go knock on the door, if we can call it like this. And the same applies. If it's not here, it's elsewhere. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that when you find something that resonates with you, have the courage to follow through. That's how you'll learn, and that's how you'll advance and go somewhere. Yeah, in a way you have to put yourself in a vulnerable position because, yeah, maybe I'm going to get screwed over. Yeah, I have to agree with you. There's a lot of people who don't give a flying fuck. This is not a judgment. You're in a field of sharks, man. There's all kinds of things. So that's how you learn how to not be hustled also. I've been screwed over multiple times. I can tell you stories about it some of the time. I learned because I was gullible. And I also learned how to read people, understand people, feel them out, and trust my intuition and whatnot. So this is life. So you cannot, because you have had one bad experience or two, just shy away and become this little shrimp that you've become. No. Come on, open up and follow. There's guidance. There is guidance in life. And it may be a little weird, and you may see it in movies and read them in books. No, there is a guidance. There's something guiding you, me, all of us, and it may be different, but there's guidance. Things take the time that they need. And in the realm that we're discussing here, where we don't put hype and we don't aggrandize things, although we could aggrandize them so big that it would make everybody look like ants. But we're just talking human to human, heart to heart. Things take the time that they need, and you should take the time that you need. But taking your time and allowing things to flourish from the inside is not the same as being coward, scared, or meek. And a lot of men have been disappointed, have been abused in so many different ways. Not that you're a victim, but this is the word to describe it. And there's a loss of trust, which I understand. In fact, I wrote a poem, because I do write poems. I'm not sure if I'm going to put some on my website, some good ones. Maybe I'll put some. Anyways, I wrote a poem when my teacher became 75, so we wrote a bunch of, could write something to him. I wrote a poem. And I wrote this very clearly. I said something like this: my past impressions have made me incapable of trust. So I was like that dude. So I said, so wake me by force if you must. And then I'm going to tell you the rest. But the point is, that's our situation as men, is that we are scared. We're scared of men, we're scared of women, we're scared of society, and we don't trust nobody. And there's nothing wrong with you because of that. And if there's something I can tell you, or if you something that you can take from all this discussion that we had, is that, yeah, when you open your eyes to the world around us, there's a scarcity issue. Everybody's depleted, which means that everybody's a hustler. Some people's hustle is more legit, some people's hustle is totally illegitimate. But at the end of the day, that's why you're intimidated and scared. There's something going on. Also, humans are humans. And that when I say humans are humans, it doesn't mean humans are imperfect, so why you expect perfection? I'm like, your idealization is a problem. Idealizing people is a problem. Because it means you don't know people. And you don't understand how people are. You don't understand human condition. And you have these ideas of how things should be. And it's not going to ever work out for you. So part of healing is to discover yourself as a human being. It's part of discovering how you're made and the intricate way that all these parts come together and how amazing and beautiful it is. Outside of the eyes of these idealistic judgments that make human experience so shallow and so like left, right, up, down, robotic, this is good, this is evil. That's not how reality really works. And to achieve some form of harmony is when the pieces come together and there's a fluidity. And that the master inside yourself, that means you yourself start to take, you can settle in and take the reins. If this is your vehicle, you can control your car and all its parts. But it doesn't look like what you imagine. Nor should it. So first of all, relax. And I don't want to say follow your heart, but follow something. And discover. There's a lot to discover. There's amazing things to discover. And life is grand. It is so grand and it is ever expansive. What you've been presented from society and from most, it's very small. It may seem interesting, it may seem grand, but if you're listening to me, you know this is small because there's something greater. And it's your birthright to have access to it. You must have access to it, but in order for you to have access to it, you have to get out of your room, if we can use that analogy, and go on a journey, which is why we call this platform the journey of manhood. You got to go on a journey. And the very definition of the journey means you need some kind of destination or a sense of where you're going. You got to at least hear a sound, which is what my mouth, I'm a musician, I'm making sound. So I'm like the radio. I'm doing the best I can. I'll improve, I promise you. But I'm like the sound system of a destination. And that's my job, to say, whoa, there's a sound and you can feel me, you see it. So that means like this guy clearly is in tune with something. It seems to come from over there. Yeah, that's great. Now you got something. Now you got to go over there. And it's a journey, and as you'll open the door, you're like, I don't know how to get there. You need some help and you need some guidance. And you shouldn't feel bad about this. You shouldn't feel ashamed about it. It's the way it goes. And if you don't understand that, you don't deserve to get the fuck out of your room because you're a fucking idiot. That you need to understand this. This is just the way it works. And it's unfortunate that men have become such feeble versions of themselves that the most basic foundations of manhood are confused. I'm like, this is necessary. This is not like this is how it works. This is not even a conversation. And I can understand that you feel insecure and you're scared and somebody's going to screw you over and you're always like this or that. I get you. It's still the nature of the game. And that's part of you being a man, is to be able to trust yourself and trust the guidance and trust your sincerity that is taking you where you need to go. That means it's going to take you to the right people and to the right teachers. And you're going to have to take a risk because, yeah, but if I take a wrong path, he screwed me over. Actually, no, you're dumb. It's your internal compass that's out of touch, that pointed to the wrong north and you went to the wrong place. It's not that person who did anything. Hustles are everywhere. So at the end of the day, it's your inner compass that's messed up. So this is a grand subject, and this is part of learning. Can you trust yourself? And you don't have to go fast. This is the key. People want to tell you go fast, fast, fast because they want you to sell, sell, sell. No. Take your time. Let something, if our sharing is real, something emerges. If it's hype, it's because it ain't real. It's coming from your mind. Somebody hacked into your mind and pushed on a button and it's triggering things in you. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we're talking about is way deeper than your little instigated mind. We're talking about something deeper than that. It cannot be hype. Something in you has to genuinely, it's a calling. Yeah, and let nobody ever douse your fire, and don't you douse your fire either. Don't be a fucking loser. But if there's no fire, stop pretending there's one. And if there's one, it's your job to tend to it, give it some love, and allow it to grow, and it's going to shine something for you. And if it's and as it starts to point, don't be a bitch. When it points, it's pointing. Don't pretend it's not pointing. Don't act like it's not pointing. You may be a little feeble and insecure, but it's pointing. Take a little step and see what happens. That's all I got to say in regards to this. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.